Everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Squared Slice. I'm none other than your friendly neighborhood soda, joined as always by the Bobby the Brain Heated to my Gorilla Monsoon, Dustin Dubuque. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I have my hands still a little sore from the dog attack on the last show I just did. Um, and honestly, I'm still in awe from that MJF promo from
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. The whole shtick is interesting, right?
Yeah, the promo it felt like I haven't seen anything like that, and I'm not joking here. I haven't seen a promo like that since the pipe bomb.
See, and I guess we
Well,
can just get
you could feel that they were really airing some of their grievances, so
right,
like it felt real,
right,
you know?
right. Yeah, it does, and this isn't trying to take away from it,
Yeah,
but when it got like the ending of it, like the big bleep,
the fire. Yeah, oh yeah,
the microphone cut off. My first thought was, I'm like, it felt that's pipe bombish,
yeah.
and I'm like, I I don't know. It's an interesting thing, right? Like
I do think we are on the road where we're gonna start turning. Like we're hitting that fork of the road where you got work, shoot. I think we're going to
totally.
start like that path that's right in the middle. It's going to be balancing both lines.
Sure, and that's always been kind of AEW shtick, so I'm
Yeah.
glad that they're like legit going for it. The interesting thing is, so I guess we can backtrack, but I'm assuming if anybody's watching this show, they know what happened
Mhm.
this weekend with MJF, right?
Yeah.
Like, AEW has All Out, or all
Double or nothing.
Double or Nothing. Sorry, they've Double or Nothing, and what it was, and I'm sorry, I was on vacation, but it was Saturday was the
Sunday.
Fan Fest, Sunday
Oh,
was the Fan
Saturday was the
Fest.
fan fest, and then yeah, there was a show Sunday.
So it gets reported that MJF no shows the Fan Fest, and quickly they realized that apparently we're supposed to believe that this was MJF mad
Yep.
and he was gonna not show up. They had to refund a bunch of $100 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, as the day went on, the reports came out that, and of course, you can help me with this, but I'm just saying what we all read
Yeah.
was maybe he's going to fly out of town.
Yeah. So what I had read,
Just
like,
off.
was Sean Ross Sapp, who's famously blocked Dustin here,
Yes.
said he said that there is a ticket has been bought with Max MGF's name on it, but it never said that MGF had bought it, which a lot of people were misreading that. But
Yeah.
he said he had reported that his source had said that a ticket had been bought in MGF's name.
Sure. So then, by about the morning, we learned that MJF did not get on the plane. He's still in Vegas. And then it was, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then about an hour before the show, I would say, it was reported that their match was moved to the front.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's where it ended. And then we got the match we got, which was Wardlow squashing him.
Which is, if I'm not going to lie, even without all that shenanigans behind the scenes, is the match we probably should have gotten.
Probably is. So, like, it does work, but when you add in all the shit, right?
Yeah.
It felt very Ultimate Warrior-ish to me. It felt like he was holding up for money. He got mad, but he still went out there and did the job. No, and again, if I'm to believe that this is kind of a shoot, which I'm not sure I believe yet, you would assume he in this time he asked for more money. I'm not showing up unless I get more money. I mean, after no showing the fest and getting this whatever there's going on behind the scenes, you don't show up at Double or Nothing for just because you like Wardlow.
No,
it's just not how it works.
No, for sure.
So it felt very like that,
I get it, and on MGF's side, like he is right. He should be paid like one of the top stars because think about it. In the last 6 months, who has been consistently in the feuds we've been talking the most about?
MJF. And we all know, and this is nothing against Hangman, but kind of going into AEW, there was a handful of people that were like the homegrown talent, right? That we all knew: Darby, Britt, MJF, Hangman, Jungle Boy. They're like the ones that were like, all right, these are the ones that are AEW owned people, the pillars that are going to be pushed. Now it's 3 years in, and we just gave Hangman the title.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've seen what Britt's done. We've seen it's been 3 years. MJF is just superior to everyone.
Yeah, he's heads and shoulders above everyone else.
He is the best thing that the company has. Period.
Yeah,
And I think
charismatic as all hell. He's
right.
incredibly great on the mic. He can hold his own when he has to improvise on the spot. And he doesn't wrestle all that much, but when he does, he can go.
He's they've booked him well recently as an
Yeah.
attraction. But when you really look before Punk, though, there was that whole year everybody kept complaining why MJF was not involved in stuff. I mean,
So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't regularly watching before.
Yeah, that was the big shtick. It was that was kind of when the Four Pillars thing was really getting hot, and MJF was kind of the one that was actually below booking wise.
Okay.
Britt, Jungle, and Hangman, and everybody's like, "What's the hell's going on?" He's the one talent that all WWE, AEW, wrestling fans, whatever,
they agree
like.
on. Yeah,
he's the number one agree one. So like now you have this guy pissed that in the last year, Khan has spent a lot of money on a lot of people, and some of those people are making close, if not way more than he is. I get it.
Right. But on the flip side, though, you'd be foolish to think that when his contract comes up and it's time to re-up, Tony Khan would be like, "No, I'm not paying you anymore." You've been foolish.
I mean,
he seems like the guy he would have been like, "Okay, I have an idea what you're worth." Like, I would like to assume.
You would like to assume, and there's all the other issues in that because I mean, if we were to believe it, his contract's up January 1, 2024.
That's fucking hilarious.
So that's a year and a half.
Yeah.
Which makes this a little too, like, that is one of the things that gets me on the work shoot part of this. Like, I could see if it was Jan 1, 2023.
Yeah.
But we got 18 months till then. I mean, was MJF really trying to get fired? Or is he just trying to get his worth known? Or at the end of the day, did they really create a storyline? Because it's wrestling.
Yeah.
We can never get that out of our head. And I really don't know. And the one thing now, I'm just gonna.
You know what? That's the beauty of it. We don't know.
We don't know, which is good. When you don't know in wrestling, it's good. And I think honestly, this is the only talent in AEW that I think could really get this done, whether it's shoot or work. Because he's MJF. He's young. He's a little more known.
Talents. He's the homegrown talent that could sure. Like Punk probably could, and I mean Jericho could if he really wanted to.
Yeah, but we've seen those guys do it
You're
though.
right. Yeah.
This is new.
Yeah.
Punk doing it is Punk doing it that we've seen. Right. So I don't know. It's interesting, and then getting the boost to the promo today, watching the promo obviously means he's not leaving. He's not getting fired. So,
and it was done in front of all the Warner Discovery execs as well. Because remember, we're there in LA today.
Yeah, I did find that odd. The one thing I gosh, this sounds so. Maybe this is dad in me, but the one thing I've harped on AEW is that my kid is not watching that show.
No,
I mean, there's just no way. And even I watched that promo and I'm like, F-bombs for. I'm like, come on, there's.
And you know what? He didn't really drop any until the very end.
Still dropped him. So I couldn't imagine. Yeah, it's interesting, and I don't know. Is that what the Warner execs want, based off all the reports? I'm not sure it is, but maybe it is.
Maybe it is because
maybe they want the one edgy show.
But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Tony Khan picked a great segment to throw out there on that show with that promo. Because that shows, hey, these are what these guys can really do.
Agreed. And he's a star.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of us know exactly. The
one thing people that know, and that's Tony Khan and MJF.
That's it. And the one thing I will admit, if I find out, like once it leaks at some point, whether it's a week from now, a year from now, 4 years from now, that this was a work. Let's say it all is mass conspiracy. Is I'm going to be pissed at the dirt sheet writers who are definitely in on it because the reports are in on it. That is 100% the case.
I don't know, man. If Tony Khan and MJF are conning everyone, I think they're holding it pretty freaking close to the vest.
But who is going to feed Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez their info? The ones that were breaking everything.
Yeah, but
Dave had
their info that's usually wrong.
Dave had a private booth in a suite at Double or Nothing, and Alvarez had a front row ticket.
Really? I thought Meltzer was on the outs with AEW.
No, he admitted it on his podcast today.
Oh,
that he was wined and dined by AEW.
But you know what, Mel? I haven't listened to Meltzer for wrestling news in years. I don't. Wrong most of the time, anyway.
That's the one thing I do appreciate about you, Soda. He is terrible, and Alvarez is terrible, and I'm an anti SRS guy too. But I think they are.
I can understand why Sean Ross Sapp does. Truthfully, the only reason I follow him is for the scoops. Otherwise,
he has. I mean, one thing that Sean does have, he has decent scoops.
Yeah.
But he's a freaking nut job. But yeah, I don't know I don't know. It's interesting.
No, when it comes to Dave Meltzer, I like to listen to him when it comes to his historian perspective on things. But yeah, it's been a really long time since I found him as a credible source.
I can't believe how many people do.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's my one criticism about what culture is. He's the one that they quote the most, and it's like, really.
And he is wrong so often.
That's an example of it's more the aura than anything else because he was the legendary wrestling scoop.
Yeah, he's kind of like one, and he's still around. And he did resurface when AEW came up, and he jumped right on the wagon. Yeah, he was like the first wagon jumper. So, yeah, I don't know, Soda. I'm trying to think of like I had one other comment I was going to say about it is. Okay, so then the theories came out of why maybe this would be a work, and like the big one was because Double or Nothing was going against Game 7 of the NBA. That was the big one. I don't see it.
No.
Who is going to buy a $50 pay-per-view just to see if MJF shows up?
Right. I'd already bought it. No, I'm honestly of the mind this started off as a work, as a shoot, sorry, and it's going to turn into a work. Like, this is the one that just popped in my head. Edge, Matt Hardy, and Lita.
Right. Sure. And I think it's good that it's MJF, and there has to be somebody else behind the scenes. Because, no offense, I don't see Tony coming up and doing this himself.
No.
Tony doesn't like any sort of criticism, as we saw in his press conference, where he came unhinged a few times over very, very minimal questions.
Yeah, towards Bischoff especially.
He said that they won the Friday Night Wars. That is a straight quote from Khan.
Did you really?
Yeah. Oh, they won the demo one time.
If you go head to head.
They won the demo once on a pre-tape Raw, on a pre-tape SmackDown. Lord. But that was like, so then, but we know that about Tony, right? Like, he just doesn't have.
He's a promoter.
He's a promoter. He doesn't, and no offense, I'm from the United States. My last president was a billionaire, baby billionaire who bitched about everything. I see similarities in all billionaires. Is they don't like to be criticized.
True, but at least one thing I can say about Tony Khan, I'm pretty sure he's not a megalomaniac in training.
Oh, 100%. But when it comes to the criticism part,
you're right.
So it makes me somebody really besides MJF in the back, like somebody really close to Tony. I don't know who it is. Has to be telling him, let this go. Like, this is money. Mm-hmm. Do you want your show to be better? Do you want more viewers? You gotta let him say and do things that nobody else could do. And you need to just sit back and eat it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where like the old school guys in the back, like an Arn, or if a Tully's still there, or a Mark Henry, or a Paul White, if they're the ones doing that, I really wouldn't be surprised.
Somebody has to be.
Yeah.
Because Tony isn't going to allow it.
Although I could see that there is probably a little bit of Tony that is smart enough to see, but I do think he's got that. He has those people pushing him because, like, you got to go with us.
Right. And I mean, it did come out also.
Fan, so he knows what's good.
Right. Well, the other thing I thought of too was, we didn't get the announcement of MJF on Dynamite today until a couple hours before.
Yeah, I didn't even see that because I wasn't able to look at my phone. I was like, oh, he showed up.
yeah, it was announced maybe.
Speaking of
I was for more.
Did you see the freaking weird thing they did with the stretcher job after the match?
Yeah.
When they put his mask on backwards.
God, just terrible.
Yeah. Anyway,
same thing with what was it, Dynamite last week of the security that were walking Wardlow, or was that Double or Nothing to the ring? And I mean, Soda, they look like teenagers. They were this, and people were like, maybe you should find a little.
It was the Dynamite. It was the cage match.
Yeah, everybody was just like, maybe you should find a little better security for Wardlow because he doesn't need your help.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but it's all right.
Again, you were saying about how we didn't know until like a couple hours before the show.
But yesterday the big announcement was, per Meltzer, Sapp, and everyone, was that Vince said somewhere on a call that of course they're interested in MJF.
Yeah. It's been known for a while.
It's been known for a while, but someone said it. And I know Tony doesn't like that.
No.
And the fact that WWE, which rarely says that stuff, says it, I think really might have got under his skin yesterday as well.
He rarely acknowledges AEW.
Correct. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It is.
Well, so you watched all of Double or Nothing, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I picked and chose because I was at a metal concert for an entire weekend, so I was living. What was that?
With bands I've never heard of.
Tons of bands nobody's ever heard of unless you listen to death metal. So I was just flipping through Twitter to get my updates throughout the night. If you want my outside perspective, completely non-biased, because I didn't watch really any of it. I haven't had time. Twitter basically said the first half was bad. Second half was actually really good. Mm-hmm. Show's too long. I agree. And you know me, any 5-hour show's too long. And the Wardlow thing was really done well.
Yeah.
Like that was the consensus I got. Like just off a bunch of comments, a bunch of things that I just kind of pulled together was like, those were and they just kind of, a lot of people just admitted that for the first time, AEW might have just had an okay show.
Yeah.
Like, one of their big shows was just, it was fine. It was fine.
I'd say the assessment is fair. Like, don't get me wrong, the TBS title match was my smoke break match.
Well, the build for that, it was horrible.
Agreed. Yeah.
Oh.
And then, I'm not gonna lie, that's what it was with a lot of these matches. It just felt like they were just thrown on the card to be there. Like the Kyle O'Reilly Darby Allin match, while as great as it was, why?
That wasn't even an advertised match, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was announced like within the week.
Okay. Why would they do that? The show was already too long.
I think it's because Darby's got to be on the show.
Then you got to fix it.
Yeah.
Put him on the pre-show then.
But with that being said, a lot of the matches were still good. It's just some of the booking was a little weird. And then, of course, they're right. Compared to the back end of the card, basically anything from the Anarchy in the Arena on.
Yeah, people said the Anarchy in the Arena.
Oh, dude, yeah, that
I watched a lot of clips from it.
I haven't seen a fight like that in a long time in a wrestling match. Long time.
Yeah, that match probably overall, just again based off what I read, might have been the most highly praised of the night.
It easily, hands down, highly praised. It even, get this, Jess watched it for the first time. Kiwi Jess, our friend.
Oh, was that her tweet? I read the tweet.
Yeah, that's the match.
I can see it's a spectacle match, so I can
100%. And that shot of Katie Kingston covered in blood with the jerry can, I think
a lot of blood.
That's going to be one of the most infamous moments in wrestling. I think just because there's just something about that shot. Looking at him, you believe he's going to set a man on fire.
Kingston has that aura about him. I've never been a Kingston guy. But everybody I know that likes wrestling, they all love Eddie Kingston because they like that. Yeah, he has not gotten me yet. I don't know if he ever will. I just don't get into it, but I totally understand it though. Like it might not be for me, but I don't disagree with it. Right. I totally get it.
For me, I'm starting to realize he's the wrestler that feels the most real.
That's why people like him, correct?
Right? Yeah, because with a lot of wrestlers, Yeah, you're probably getting who they are, but there's still a little bit of exaggeration in there. I don't know, man. Eddie Kingston, like, I believe, I believe how he says in his promos is real.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's why people like him. So that's good to hear. I know
plus he has awesome eyebrows.
he does have awesome eyebrows. You're not
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
But yeah, I know. I again,
I'm
outside looking in, I mean, I knew. I said it a couple weeks ago. I met about with a buddy of mine that I knew Cole and Britt were going to win both tournaments.
Yeah,
I felt that was coming. Sticky and kind of weird.
I kind of enjoyed Martha Hart's speech. That's because the reason why I say that is
weird.
The reason I say that is because my only exposure to Martha Hart is in the background videos and the Hart stuff. Read her book that she did about Owen 20 years ago, and The Dark Side of the Ring. So I feel like I finally got to see Martha Hart. You know what I mean? I'm like, God, she seems like an odd duck, but she seems like she's fun.
She's an odd duck.
Yeah, especially when she shot the hat at the end. It's like next year I expect you all guys to see it. We wearing hats like me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I thought that was like I don't know. I never got bought into the Owen Hart thing either. I think it's weird. I'm one of the people that thinks it's weird. Yeah. I just can't invest into Owen Hart in a company that Owen Hart has nothing to do with. I get it though. I do. We all love Owen. I'm glad that he's getting in their game. That's cool. They're probably going to get an action figure of him. That'll be cool.
We have the shirts, which I own, which I should be wearing right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. The Owen Hart shirt I bought after the Dark Side of the Ring. I bought it the day of when they announced it.
That's all. The merch part, very cool. And his family and whatever foundations he has are probably making money off of it. All great. But everything else,
yeah,
a little weird.
It's cool, but it does have that asterisk.
It does. So that's unfortunate. I couldn't really buy into that at all. Yeah, I did. I watched. So I got through a few matches. I ended up. I wanted to watch the Wardlow Punk thing. I got it. I tried to watch Hardys and Bucks.
That was not the best of their matches, but it was still pretty fun.
Really, that one got lambasted on Twitter when I was flipping on my phone.
For me, I wasn't expecting them to rewrite the wheel. I just thought it was fun. Right. It was like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And then, of course, I watched the main event because I had to see if Punk could hang with Page because I'm not sure if he can. And then I just want to see if I had a bet on that too. I also bet my buddy Johnny that Punk was going to win. He didn't believe me, so I knew I was going to win that.
Yeah, that's one as it got closer and closer and closer. Where I started to think more along those lines. Yeah, when they first announced the match, I'm like, oh, Hangman's going to win, but no. And then if you spoilers for Dynamite tonight, they announced who his opponent is going to be for Forbidden Door. It's Tanahashi.
Oh, it's Tanahashi.
Yeah, it's like that's going to be a fun match.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, it was obvious, but it's going to be a fun match. It
was obvious. Yeah. So I don't know. I think they gave Punk the belt because of the Warner Discovery thing. I really do. Because, I mean, he did just kind of get shoehorned into it. I know they have the ranking system, but he beat MJF and magically it's babyface versus babyface for a belt.
Well, okay, but to be fair, though, he did wrestle. He's wrestled a lot more than MJF. Like, remember how many matches he's had on Dynamite?
Oh, he has. And I'm not saying he hasn't. Yeah. But it just felt like...
You're right, it does. It's sooner. It feels too soon.
It does. And to me, that's why I was like, the reason why is I feel like this is a big reason. Because... let's be honest. If you're trying to sell to a Warner Media and you're going to be all these new people, all new channels and stuff, who's a bigger name to have on the marquee? Hangman Page or CM Punk? It's just basic financials.
Right. You're 100% right. Do you also think though that before the events of this weekend they had in mind maybe Full Gear, Punk, MJF 3 for the title?
They might have. I mean. Yeah.
Because I think it'd be better if Punk had the title and MJF was chasing.
But now I don't even know. Right? It'll be interesting to see how they book Punk. I didn't really like that he had a match tonight. I thought that was odd, and it was a 6-man.
Yeah,
I'm like, you're the champ. Come out and do a cool promo. You're CM Punk. Then I understand a little more.
That's why he's wrestling because he's CM Punk.
Yeah, but then I understand a little bit more. He had the big MJF promo, so like, Punk's promo wouldn't have mattered at all. And really the whole night, again, it's weekly wrestling. You only need one thing to matter.
Although I haven't been able to watch all of that, but I heard it was a pretty good show.
Sure.
Because it's in LA and the whole glitz and the glamour, and of course,
sure. Raw was really good this last week too. I watched it. I'm like, yeah, it was a pretty good show. But at the end of the day, the only thing people are going to remember is the Cody and Seth brawl, which was exquisite.
Yes,
it was a legit good brawl. And sometimes WWE brawls suck and are gross. And the last good brawl I remember was Taker and Lesnar. Before their, like, what was that, the SummerSlam match?
Yeah.
Those two guys literally were destroying the referees because they could.
Yeah.
To get to each other, and Brock was, like, legit throwing people. And I'm like, God, it actually feels like these two guys are actually trying to... Because, at WWE, it feels like they're not. Because, it's wrestling. They're really not. Mm-hmm. But Cody and Seth, man, they felt like they were going to be
a little bit of wrestling into that sport.
Yeah, it was great. Seth made the AEW comment on Monday, which was rare.
Which I know you're for the most part against that, but I've always liked that when they've kind of nudge, wink, wink.
I like a little nudge, wink, wink. Okay. I don't like it 4 times a show every week.
That's fair.
That AEW would be just fine doing it.
I will say they've been pretty good lately.
They have been better lately.
Tonight was the first time I'd heard the words WWE and on their show in a long time.
But actually, like 3 weeks ago, Mox made 2 comments in his promo, and then somebody else that same night, and I'm like, Britt Baker, I think, said something. I'm like, stop.
Okay,
it.
But Mox though makes sense with Mox because of the program.
I get it, but that's where you need to keep it.
Yeah.
Don't just offhand comment this shit anymore.
What was Britt's? I don't remember hers.
I don't remember.
I just must be so used to this point that I'm just like, whatever. I don't
exactly, and that shouldn't be the case. But I don't mind a little pot shot. And I thought Seth was actually okay.
Yeah,
because again, it is part of their story. Cody is still on the return.
Cody is still the AEW guy.
Totally. And you know what? One thing now we can get into probably Hell in a Cell is.
Can't wait.
I can't either. WWE, 5 weeks ago, you and I probably sat here post-Mania, and we complained about the rematches going into Backlash. Mm-hmm. And now it's literally the same rematches, and I almost do not care. They have done a really good job at finding 3 feuds-ish that are really good.
There's only one though that I'm really on board for, and that's the I want to see Cody and Rollins in the Hell in a Cell because I think we're going to get a return to the old school Hell in a Cell matches.
Oh yeah, they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
Go for it. You think they're going to
go for it? Oh man, I don't know.
You think Cody can convince Vince that this is a time where blood's needed?
Dude, you know what?
Cody right now.
I would usually 100% say no to that. They have put the rocket to Cody.
Yeah.
They have a countdown clock.
I know, man. How wild is that? And to think 6 years ago, you Stardust.
It's wild to believe that. It's wild to believe Vince is bought in. Like, it really, to me, like when Cody first came back that first week, I was like, okay, cool. He'll be right at the top.
Yeah.
Sweet. Vince is bought in. Like
he's the hottest thing on Monday Night Raw.
He's the hottest thing in wrestling besides in WWE than Roman.
Yeah.
And Roman's not around right now. So he is the hottest thing. Mm-hmm. And it is crazy to think about because I agree with you. They could get away with it if Cody wants to. It was just like 5 years ago now when Brock hardwayed Orton.
Yeah. And Vince when Jericho confronted him in the back of that one, right. Yeah.
And what did who was it? Triple H had said, "It's a work."
No, Vince himself said it's a work.
Yeah, and I think that, and only Vince would allow Brock and Randy. Like those 2 dudes are the perfect mesh of who Vince would say, "All right, if you can do it, do it."
Yeah.
So Seth and Cody make that mix of if you can do it, do it.
And I honestly think after Seth Rollins' last time in a Hell in a Cell against The Fiend, I think things might go a little differently in terms of the input from Rollins in this one.
Right.
Because, I'm sure you heard that infamous story afterwards about the look that Seth Rollins gave Vince McMahon afterwards. You fly on that wall.
Yeah, that, did you see The Fiend? Did you see the Bray Wyatt tweet?
Yeah, like somebody, I can't remember the exact word. It was just basically said, coming soon, something's going to happen.
Yeah, and it said people deciphered it as June 6th, which is Monday night.
Ow.
So look it up after the show.
Okay.
I saw a bunch of people saying that because it's kind of riddle-ish. It was a little bit of a riddle, but people said it till 666. So which June 6th, which is Monday, who knows?
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m. So I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, that's Monday.
I would love the Fiend back. You don't know how much you'll love it till it's gone.
Right.
But yeah, no, Hell in a Cell's gonna be great. And yeah, Cody and Seth is a
that's
about the rest of the show.
That, in my humble Canadian opinion, should be the main event.
It is.
Match. You might put that one on main event.
Cody's on the poster. It's Cody on the poster.
That's fair game. Did they Photoshop the tattoo out? That would be fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. But and the women's triple threat, I'm excited for too. It's a little bit of a mess, but I'm into it.
What's going on the SmackDown women's side?
Nothing. There's not a single just SmackDown book match for the show.
You're kidding.
Saw that stat the other day. None. No Usos. No Charlotte. None of it.
Charlotte, understandable. She's on her honeymoon.
No Roman.
Yeah.
Because it's what is it? Lashley, almost.
And
then it's the three girls. Then it's Ezekiel's match. Look up the other two. What are the other two?
I'm on Wikipedia right now. Oh, and so 2022.
Yeah, because unless they announce the an Uso match on Friday, which they might.
So far we've got Cody, Seth. Yep. Bella, the women's triple threat. The 2-on-1 handicap match, almost MVP versus Bobby Lashley. We've got Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens.
That'll be fun.
Theory versus Mustafa Ali.
Oh yeah, and Ali. Yeah.
You think they're gonna give it to Ali? No.
Nope.
No. And then there is the 6-person mixed tag match. Judgment Day versus Finn, AJ.
And yeah.
Which I like.
That's all Raw.
Yeah, that's
no SmackDown.
They have to announce something on Friday because it's
amazing. Week. Usos are off the show.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have a story right now.
We still got a little bit of time.
Was it?
It's this Sunday. Never mind.
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
They're gonna have to announce something on.
Unless they continue because obviously they're building to Riddle versus Roman. That's the build.
Yeah.
And they're continuing the Riddle knock tag because Orton's taking some time off.
And oops.
Right. So, God, you would think they have to have Riddle and the Usos on the show.
That's why I'm thinking we've got one more show to go before Hell in a Cell. I think they're going to announce something. They have to.
They have to. And again, if the next one's Money in the Bank, and the main event is expected to be Roman.
That's one where I'll give you Tony Khan should have kept his mouth shut. That's what I'll give you.
Oh, that one was brutal.
Yeah,
you cannot say that when you're pulling like 4,000 people in stadiums.
Call that what? Yeah, I agree with you there. You don't get to say that until you sold out 90,000 seats.
Exactly, which WWE can barely do. And I think it might have been you and I, or maybe somebody else when I was messaging about when I was like, oh my God, this is why I dislike this guy. I'm not surprised that they couldn't do it for Money in the Bank. I'm really not.
Me neither.
It's not a staple like I think they overshot.
Yeah.
I think they thought it was. The Royal Rumble and WrestleMania are so specific.
But let's not also forget what else is that night in Vegas.
Right.
If it wasn't for UFC, I think they could have done it.
It would have definitely been easier.
Yeah.
What do you do? UFC is more popular, especially in Vegas.
Yeah.
WWE's not running a WWE market. If this was...
I'd say it's more of an AEW market, even though they could never sell out the Reliance Stadium.
Totally. I mean, it'd be like if WWE was in Boston instead and the UFC was there.
Yeah.
I would say WWE could outdraw UFC there. It's the
Yeah.
East Coast,
Yeah. For
and
sure.
it's in the territory where everybody over there loves
Yeah.
WWE because
It's New
they've
York.
lived it. So yeah, that was weird. That was a weird situation.
Yeah, that was a weird tweet. Like I said, I don't normally when you tell Tony Khan like knock it off, I'm like I just usually
That
just
one was bad.
roll my eyes.
Well, and
Now
then
I'm
he
like,
name drops like, "Oh, I'm at lunch with Dana, and we." Shut up.
yeah, it's like okay,
I know. Stop it. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be so then it's going to be interesting to see. Cody has to win still.
Cody's gonna get Money in the Bank.
God, he's almost above Money in the Bank. I know, like 4 weeks ago we were saying this, like Cody will get Money in the Bank, but like it's Cody. Can't he
Yeah.
just get a title shot? Does he need the briefcase?
No, but I still wouldn't be surprised if they were to give it to him.
I wouldn't be surprised, but God, it almost doesn't even feel like they need it. Granted, it does sound like they have the next, if you believe Meltzer's report, the next 3 suitors for Roman. If you believe it's Riddle, Orton, Drew. That's the 3. It's Riddle at Money in the Bank, it's Orton at SummerSlam, and then Drew at the UK show. And then the obvious rumor is Drew drops the belt to Roman. Or Roman drops the belt to Drew at the UK show, which
no
frees.
kind of a letdown, but
Okay, Vince.
I get why, but
Vince. Nobody likes Drew that much. It's just not possible. Did you leave me, Soda?
No, I'm still here. I just gave
Vince,
you so you go on this.
Please don't give the belts. Please don't let Roman's first loss in 2.5 years be to Drew McIntyre. Just don't do it. Do it to Riddle or Orton or Cody. Hell, bring Brock back to do it. Just not Drew. That's it. That's all I got.
I wouldn't say everybody nobody likes Drew. Like I mean,
nobody. I meant more like nobody wants to.
He's not compared to. He's not credible enough. He doesn't need it.
Not.
Now,
and I'm sorry.
He doesn't need it either. That would really be more of a nostalgia run.
God, Orton is freaking popular right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be more of a let's capitalize on this while it's hot.
I just think, right, and I just think, I don't think they're going to back off of it. I think they are locked in. Yeah, unless they get the Tyson Fury rumor. If they get Tyson Fury, it will be Drew versus Fury because that will make them so much money overseas, it won't even matter.
Exactly. It
would be. Nobody would care.
Yeah.
Then you can feed Roman another person. It wouldn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, and then I guess the other thing about the summer is do you think Cena's coming back?
I think so.
I think
he could. After last summer, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I wouldn't mind seeing it like this is a version of The Undertaker where he only came back at WrestleMania. We only get Cena back for SummerSlam, and I'm fine with that.
Why not?
Yeah, you know what? He's officially past that point where he's going to get the boos and the cheers simultaneously. Let him come back. You did it with Undertaker. You do it all the time with Brock. Let him once a year come back. I'd be down.
I think I've told you this before, but a couple of years ago, before Brock kind of like started wrestling more, I used to say that about him. I'm like, why not just say it? Why not just say every year Brock will wrestle at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
And it's a new thing every year where somebody challenges him to wrestle him.
Yeah.
And that's the match. Why? I always said that. So, like, I agree with you. If they're going to do it with Cena, every summer you get Cena for 2 months, shows up half dozen times, cuts the promos, maybe throws a tag match in there, gets a little physical, and then has the big one against whoever the hell. Let's do it.
You give it to me. I
wonder who it'll be against, though. That's my thing. And I think I have my guess.
Who?
I think it's Edge.
Oh.
That would be my guess.
Oh, that'd be good. They always have those two.
The reason why I think that, just based off, like, it just feels Edge. It feels like Edge. If it happens.
Yeah.
Because it would just be two guys that have wrestled before, but Edge is in a completely different place.
That's true.
And Cena can beat Edge. Like, we
Yeah.
can't have Summer of Cena and have Cena show up and lose every time. And he lost last year.
Yeah.
Edge losing to Cena doesn't matter.
No.
I don't know. That's my guess.
That's not a bad one. I never thought about that. Like, I mean, I just started. It just started turning in my head about the whole Summer of Cena thing, but I just didn't start thinking about who his opponent could be.
Or Theory.
Kind of like a torch passing thing, because they're really high on him.
They're high on him. I remember, and Cena was the U.S. when he was the U.S. champ. Remember, that was the big shtick. Was like, I'm going to call out all the young guys, and I'm going to help them make them. Guess who's the U.S. champ right now?
That's true. I remember. Yeah.
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 I don't know.
Truthfully, I think that one's more likely.
I think that one's more fun.
Yeah.
If we're looking to stay fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the one thing about Drew winning the belt off Roman is then I think it sets up Drew. Oh God, maybe it doesn't. It depends on what belt I don't know. It's all a mess.
Yeah, or I could even see them using that as a way to split the title.
If Drew beats him, it's for one or the other. It ain't both.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
They'll split it.
WWE put get rid of the two title thing and just have one again, which from the sounds of it, they don't even know what the hell they're doing.
They don't. They have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't even know why they unified the tag titles at this point. They're just like, shit. We did it again.
For sure, we would have gone that match at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, everything about it. Well, it was more long-term storytelling than anything.
Yeah, that just kind of at the end had a few. It was like M. Night Shyamalan did the storytelling in this one.
Well, and that's the reason why. And that's the reason why I do think Meltzer's right on his report. Was that storyline that they booked it to have Riddle and Orton face Roman. I mean, that's what they did. So, and Orton's the one that's hurt. So, start with Riddle.
So, what is his injury? I don't think I think I might have missed that.
I forgot what they said. I mean, like his shoulder or something.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. But Roman versus Orton at Mania or at SummerSlam is a really good match.
Oh, I agree. I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, everybody. I mean, and again, Orton is riding high. No pun intended. Did you get your shirt yet?
No, not yet.
Oh.
It takes a little bit for Canada, so I should hopefully have it by SummerSlam.
All right.
Well, seriously, it can take up to 2 months in Canada to get your WWE.
Jesus,
stuff.
really? 2 fucking months?
Yeah. I don't even think I've done my confirmation that it's shipped yet.
Jesus. God, it's only Canada.
I know. It's fucking weird.
They probably get it to the UK faster.
Probably.
Ugh.
It is what it is. I know I'm getting it eventually. So
Right. Yeah, I guess the other thing, if we want to just segue from MJF to other people walking out of the company.
Yeah.
We touched on it really quickly because it was still so new. The Naomi and Sasha waltz out of the building. But we didn't really talk about it a lot because we just didn't know enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we're 2.5 weeks later. What do you think, Soda? What is your now thoughts?
Their reasoning was sound, but their execution was shite.
Yeah, I agreed.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I understand why they did it. I just don't think they should have done it. At least not like that. If you were done, at least done it in the middle of the day, not when the freaking show's on the air. That's
And Sasha doing it, I told you this, but Sasha doing it, not a super surprise.
Yeah.
Naomi falling for the peer pressure was poor.
I agree. It's a little weird.
Naomi, they were going to put you in the title pit. She was going to go over in that match. She was going to wrestle for the belt.
Right? But does it make sense for her to pin her partner, her championship partner? Like,
I don't know. I'm in this for myself. I'm not in it to care that stuff. First off, and Sasha's making more money than Naomi is anyway.
True, but Naomi's married to an Uso.
That's the other thing she should have thought about.
Oh, like, Naomi, if I'm being honest, I think Naomi's Teflon in this.
I think she is too, but it's not going to help.
No.
because she ain't coming back and getting in the title picture.
No.
She's going to have to eat.
You never know.
Maybe.
Stranger things.
But again, I agree with you. I think Naomi's fine. She'll take
Yeah.
her suspension. She'll show up. It's Sasha's the interesting one.
Sasha is the outlier.
She has had issues before.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
35
over the last.
Most famous.
Yep. She's had a few different instances backstage where people are. She thinks she's high and mighty, and people kind of go with it. So I don't know. I don't know if they finally just say screw it. It'll be interesting.
I could see her being gone longer this time.
Yes. Because their suspension, if
indefinite.
You believe what you read, it's indefinite for like till the end of July or something.
Yeah, no pay.
Yeah.
All their merchandise taken out of the site.
Yeah, they got cut out of the open.
Yeah.
What do you do? That's what you get.
Yeah, WWE threw them under the bus with the statement.
That is so. This is where it gets on that work shoot thing again, right?
Yeah.
It's shocking to me, but I think Vince is furiously pissed.
Probably.
Like
nobody walks out into McMahon in the middle of the fucking show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who was the last person that you can recall? Was it Austin?
Didn't he walk out before like Punk?
Oh yeah. Well, I know Punk happened before Raw. Did Austin happen in the show?
I think Austin was right before Raw when he heard that he was going when he was losing to Brock in that first opening match.
So then there is no recent memory of anybody walking out during the show.
Jesus, God, who? I mean, Hardy kind of walked out of a house show.
But, yeah, that's not really.
But he's the same. Well, and he was way more expendable to the WWE than anyone. Anyway.
But also, like at a house show, you don't have storyline.
Right. You're just being an asshole.
Which, and then if I'm being honest, Vince always rewrites a goddamn show anyway, so it shouldn't have mattered.
Right. But yeah, mid-show and to throw your belts at Johnny Ace is not great.
Not kosher.
And honestly, I can see Vince being more mad the fact that they didn't do it to him.
Mm.
You know, I thought that. I was like, I wonder if he's mad because they didn't have the balls to do it to Vince.
You know what's funny, though? A lot of people were coming out supporting Sasha and Naomi, but I didn't see many people come out supporting MJF. Maybe it's because it was a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
There was a lot riding on this?
Yeah, maybe. The outing fans money thing, I think, really got to people. The fact that a bunch of people paid money to see you, and I mean, granted, I guess it's no different than tickets, right? I mean,
true, but with the tickets, though, at least it's always card subject to change,
right? And it's more than just that. When these people were in line for MJF, you know, so I mean, there was that. I mean, people really just like when WWE gets it sometimes too.
Which is true, yeah, because they're the the big bad dog.
Yeah, agreed. So I think a lot of people like there was the amount of articles I saw. The headline was Sasha will be fine without WWE, but will WWE be fine without Sasha?
Yeah,
I'm like, yes, they will be fine. They will. Yeah. They will not care. And actually, we're now 3 weeks in, and look at that. Nobody. Nobody really cares. It's the machine doesn't stop.
No.
Let's remember. Warrior, Hogan, Austin, Brock, Punk.
Mm-hmm.
These are huge names that have walked out on Vince.
Yeah.
And the machine kept turning.
Brett.
You could Hall and Nash. These are all people that have...
And even HBK in there as well.
So many people.
Probably the most famous one, Rick Rude, because it happened in the same night.
Yeah. All these people.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Vince is always, if it's good for business, let's do it, no matter what happened.
Yeah, I mean, and look at they have crops of people that are coming up. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really hoping going into the UK show. I mean, my goal would be to get Drew versus Gunther, or Gunther high on that show.
Or can you imagine Gunther going for the title?
Dude,
Give me that.
Gunther is a babyface.
Yeah.
He is a babyface, but Vince.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those people when they brought him on the roster as Gunther. You know how I felt about that. Why? I get it now.
You get it?
I
And
get
he's
it.
a babyface.
I still would have kept Walter. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have too. I think I think Walter's a good name, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But this guy's a babyface. But you know how WWE does sometimes they let the heel run play out and then they give the guy the frickin' Intercontinental title, please.
Yep.
Which honestly, that might get jammed on Hell in a Cell on Friday.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're already alluding to the Intercontinental belt in him, so like maybe that's a way.
Yeah, they're probably like, oh shit, we got these titles.
But they obviously have to do something with him at the UK show. I mean, he has to be in some sort of spot. And I mean, if they get Tyson Fury and Drew, why not give?
If you're gonna pull the trigger on somebody to dethrone him, make it fucking Gunther, because that's gonna make his career.
Oh God, I'm a huge Gunther fan, so that'd be the greatest.
Me too.
I love him so much.
That dude looks like he can hurt you very bad.
Yeah, but you know the middle card guys that are coming up. You know the other thing I just to randomly complain just because we have a couple minutes left is, Veer. Do you follow him on Twitter?
No.
You should. Because him on Twitter, he seems super interesting. He is a really good looking guy. He wears like nice suits. He's like very like distinguished feeling. And then they put him in the damn Indian garb on Mondays. And every time I see a thing of him on Twitter, I'm like, why is that guy not on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have to be doing the camel clutch with the
cervical clutch?
Whatever. I hate it.
It's a dumb name.
Look at like when we get off, just spend a little time on his Twitter for a sec. You will.
No,
I think you'll jump right on my ship. Put that guy on TV.
Yeah, like the first video is from of somebody from Little League. I think it's his son.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like Vince McMahon always will have that foot in the past where it's like you have to have that foreign heel.
God.
Which is
just
like,
stop.
Yeah.
So outdated. That is some of the outdatedness of WWE is that.
Yeah.
Like this reason why he's not like you had this huge build to him. And you know, obviously he
just kept going,
and then you bring him in and you're like, oh God, like we haven't seen this before. And you have Jinder Mahal still on roster with the same gimmick.
Yeah.
Which
former WWE champion Jinder Mahal.
God, I loved that WWE run, by the way.
Me too. It was just
I loved it. I was all in on Jinder. I thought it was great. I just thought he was a good character and stuff, but what do you do?
Yep, not much. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Unless you got something else.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, that's good. I'm excited. Hell in a Cell. So we have stuff to talk about next week.
Looking forward to Cody and Seth 3.
Cody and Seth. You know the other thing I will say quick. The one thing that they've done well with Cody, he's wrestled minimal, and he's only wrestled the same two people, which is Seth and Miz. He's not wrestled anybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought that when he wrestled Miz again the other night. I went, that's clever.
Very clever.
Because then it keeps fresh matchups for the future. Instead of Seth, like Cody coming out and beating whoever. Oh, Seth's buddy, Sami Zayn. Like, okay. They're not throwing away matches on Cody, which I like.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice change of pace.
Agreed. Instead of doing the Punk route, not saying it's the bad route, but like the Punk route where he's wrestling every week against random younger guys or just fun matches.
The difference with that though is there's a bigger pool for you to choose from for matches with Punk because he's been gone so long.
Right, of course.
Yeah, that's the only difference I can see. That's
because the way WWE works is usually the guys on top have been on top a long time.
Yeah.
The same guys on top now are pretty much the same guys that were on top 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Roman,
really.
Randy Orton.
Yeah, all these same guys. Brock. I have no idea what my dogs are barking at. So yeah, but no. Well, where can people find you, Soda?
So you can find me on my personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman. You can find me on this channel, Northern Entertainment Group, on this show, of course, every Wednesday night, Rewind the Tape, which is normally on Thursdays, except for this weird snafu that I didn't plan on doing today. And then also on Saturday mornings with the Northern Countdown. What the hell is ours? I think it's the top 5 best final seasons show. I can't remember what the hell the topic is this weekend. Anyways,
topic.
And also we've got I've also got the Dropkicks every Saturday afternoon over on the Let's Get Ready Network. And what about you, man?
You can find me. Last night I was rejoined on, and I'm gonna space the show's name out. Daniel and Snark's show on this channel. The TV show one they do that I can't think of the name of it. It's such a good show too. Yeah. Such a good name of a show. I was on there last night to accept my championship victory of winning the Survivor reality show draft that I won. That I was brought in last minute because they heard through the grapevine that I was a Survivor fan. And I won with my 2nd overall pick. No big deal. But the reason why it matters to the show, you know this, Soda, is the bet is whoever won got to make all the other guys watch a season of their choosing. And my season is WWE's Legends House.
And you know what? I think they're gonna have fun. And even though they're both not wrestling fans, well, I know Daniel used to be. I do think because of how big these guys were in their heyday, they might actually be aware of who a couple of them are. Yeah, I'm sure they'll know who Roddy Piper is, of course.
Of course.
They'll probably know Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Who else was on there?
It was Howard Finkel.
Yeah,
Pat
maybe
Patterson.
Probably
Mean Gene. Hillbilly Jim.
They'll know Mean Gene probably.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, maybe.
They'll probably know Jimmy Hart just because of Hogan.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we talked. It was funny when I first announced it. You have to watch the very end, Soda. Dave and Dan and Snark. Snark was cool with it because Snark's an old wrestling fan. But Dave and Dan were like, "This sounds awful." But then we talked about it for a few more minutes, and they kind of came around. They're like, "All right, this is really bad schlock, and we can watch it."
Oh shit! It was one of the few reality shows that I used to love. The Surreal Life.
That's exactly what Snark brought up.
Yeah, it's like Surreal Life.
It is. It's WWE's Surreal Life, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Surreal Life.
Yeah, I did. It was great.
I for the life of me cannot find this clip anywhere, but it's still one of my favorite moments to ever happen on TV. It was that season when Vanilla Ice was on. Do you remember that season?
I remember some of it. I'd have to re-look.
Throughout most of the season, they were trying to get him to sing Ice Ice Baby, and he was "Fuck you guys, I'm done with that shit." That was back at that time.
Yeah.
And finally, they're at a karaoke bar, like a whole bunch of people drink it, and the two of the girls, I can't remember who they were, they started doing Ice Ice Baby. Vanilla Ice, he's like, "Give me the fucking mic," and he just does it at karaoke night and just brings the house down. Still one of my favorite things ever. Just because he's like, "Give me the fucking mic." He's like, "I'm done with this shit."
Do you remember anything about Legends House? Like, do you remember any parts of it?
If I'm being honest, I've seen enough clips to say I've seen most of the episodes, but I've never actually watched
them all. Oh man,
I've seen a lot of clips.
See, and this is probably a Canada thing to you, but when they launched the network,
it was one of the first ones.
That was because they actually shot that in 2012.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was.
And they tried to peddle it, and not a single TV station would pick it up.
Which sucks.
So they literally just had nothing else to do with it.
Yeah.
But that was like a premier product to buying the network in that first week.
I remember.
And I was like,
"Oh,
I'm
get the network till I think." Oh shit! It dropped at WrestleMania 30. I think it was like 2 years. It took 2 years for it to come up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do remember that was a major selling point when it first
There is, and I'll see if I can find the clip, but the one memory I have, and it's super small, but it's super funny, is Roddy Piper is trying to use a blender, and he has no fucking clue how to use it. Right. And it's like just 2 minutes of the cameras, like, there's not even a real camera in there. It's the cameras from, like, the corners.
Yeah.
Catching Piper, like, swearing and not understanding how to use this blender. And it is, because it's Piper, it's the funniest thing ever. I just can't not love it. It's just hilarious.
Man.
But yeah, it's a great show. So I told them that once it happens sometime later this summer, we'll make you watch it too, and then we'll have to do our own reviews and stuff.
Yeah, I would be down for that because, like I said, I've seen a lot of clips, but I've never seen an episode. And I do like going back watching some of the stuff from the pre-network. Like, I could wax poetically till I'm blue in the face about it, but I love watching the Legends Roundtable. Not the Legends, the wrestling stuff. I couldn't tell you how many times I watched them.
Those are so good.
Yeah,
they really were
on there. Like Michael Hayes is one of my favorites on there. Jim Ross is a great person to listen to. Who the hell else? JJ Dillon was great.
Yeah, JJ Dillon had some great episodes on there.
Yeah. Mike Graham was one of my favorites. I'm glad he didn't come back after the first 4.
I think Mike Graham's boring.
He came off as kind of salty. Of course, Dusty, as always, was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's even no Rowdy Roddy Pipers in an episode. Bret Hart did one. Ric Flair did one, but Ric Flair just comes off like an arrogant prick in those.
No way.
Yeah, well, no. I mean, like, more so on the prickish side. Like, you just being a dick.
But he's gonna make a return. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You buy the rumors that it's gonna be against Hogan?
I don't know if Hogan. I actually think Flair's in probably better shape than Hogan is.
Oh, 100% for sure.
Like, I don't know if Hogan can do it.
No.
They got to find someone not Hogan. I mean, if they're gonna do another old guy.
Ricky Morton.
I think Ricky Morton. That was the one that I was going to say because Ricky's still doing it.
Yeah.
And can help, but like it can't be Hogan.
No.
It just can't. No. They need somebody to carry. Stop. Just stop.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But anyways,
all right.
We
Thanks, Soda.
Yeah. So on behalf of myself and Dustin, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, the video, leave your comments, tell us what your takes on the stuff that's happened in the last month. And we will see you next week as we step between the ropes into the middle of the squared slice. Have a good weekend. Have a good week, folks.